Hi, it's Jan from Leaderpreneur, and we're going to be looking at agile teams in this video. There's a lot of buzz around agile teams today. It's recognized that in the complex, uncertain, and very fast-moving world, we need to have agile teams that can respond quickly to change. How do you do that? That's what you're going to learn in this video. Really simple, clear, and practical ideas that you can implement straight away to building an agile team. Remember, join us on Facebook if you want to continue the conversation around 21st century leadership. Enjoy your learning.
So we've looked at the control cycle, and now we're questioning what can we use it for? Well, in the first video we learned about using the control cycle to move towards achieving our goals. In other words, we can only achieve goals when we're performing all 5 of the control activities. In this module we're going to be looking at how to build an agile team. In today's complex, uncertain and rapidly changing world, agility is extremely important. We want teams that can respond very quickly to change, but not just respond quickly, but respond effectively. And so to do that, we need to look at how we can use the control cycle to improve our agility. Now, what we'll see in the control cycle is that all 5 activities are crucial for achieving goals. Now, what you can probably recognize is that the key point for agility is to move as quickly as possible between each activity in the control cycle. The reason why this is a priority is that the faster you move through the activities, the faster you can move towards achieving your goals. For example, imagine a football coach who takes 6 months to complete one cycle versus a coach who takes 1 week. That means one coach takes 6 months to set a goal, create a plan, tell everyone about the plan, make sure the plan happens, and look what happens in the world. The other coach takes 1 week. They're very quickly setting goals, building plans, communicating them, making sure they're implemented, and then looking to see what's changed. It's clear that the coach who takes only 1 week will be much faster at responding to change than the coach who takes 6 months. Based on this, who do you think is more likely to be successful? It's going to be the coach who takes 1 week, because they're moving faster towards achieving their goals. They're learning faster and responding faster to change. Why does this matter? It matters because the basic point is that the faster you complete the control cycle, the faster you move towards achieving your goal. Think about it. If you're setting goals faster, you're planning faster, you're communicating faster, you're implementing faster, and you're learning faster, then of course you're going to be moving closer towards your goal faster. You can see how if the world is moving fast, then we need to keep up with it. And by accelerating the speed of the control cycle, we are able to make sure that our teams are agile and can move quickly. In other words, we need to move through the control cycle as quickly as possible in order to keep up with the world around us. An example of someone who didn't do that is BlackBerry. BlackBerry in the early 2000s dominated the landscape with their smartphones, even coining the term crackberry, as people were so addicted to them and their advanced technology. But within the last 5 years, we've seen them go to, in 2014, having a $5.9 billion loss. I don't know how you lose that much money in 1 year, but they managed to do it. And the reason for this is very simply that they have not kept up with change. Though they were the market leaders 6 years ago, they've lost that position and are struggling to keep up. And the basic principle is that they were too slow in setting goals. They were too slow in updating their plans. They were too slow in communicating them, implementing them, and learning about change. Of particular importance here, I'd like to emphasize, is the need to learn from change. That's something, as I emphasized in the last video, that typically management is very bad at. Learning from change is a crucial element of the control cycle. So in summary, what is the key point here? The key point is that as a 21st century leader, you need to maximize the speed of the control cycle to create a more agile and responsive team or organization. The faster you can make the control cycle happen, the faster your team can respond to change. That's why we've developed a very simple framework, a tool that you can use right now to work out how you can improve the responsiveness of your team. The first step is to calculate your cycle time. That basically describes how long does it take you to complete one control cycle. Here's how you use it. You need to look at steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the diagram in front of you and calculate how long does it take you to do each one. How long does it take you to set goals, create plans, inform others about the plan, implement the plan, and learn about the change? Is it a couple of hours, or does it take a couple of days, weeks, or months? You need to think about it in terms of till the activity is successfully completed. So how long does it take you to actually set a goal, to create a plan, tell others about it, so on and so forth? And then, as the second part of that equation, is calculating the transition time. Because it's not just that you've done it, you actually need to move to the next stage. So for example, it's not just about setting a goal, it's how long does it then take you to move towards the planning stage. For example, you might be able to set a goal in 1 day, but if it then takes you 1 week to move towards the planning stage, that's obviously 8 days in total. So even though you're setting goals quickly, it's taking you a long time to get towards the planning stage. And you can see that with the letters A, B, C, D, and E on the diagram. So what you need to do is add up how long it takes you to perform all 5 activities, and then add up how long it takes you to move through each one of the stages, A, B, C, D, E. And then add all of these together. And that will give you the time it takes you to complete one control cycle. You can pause the video now and do that. And I suggest it'll only take you a couple of minutes, and you'll find it very revealing to see how long it actually takes your team to do this. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see what are the biggest roadblocks. Where is your team the slowest? What is causing the biggest delays in slowing your team down in responding to the world around it? Once you have identified that roadblock, move to step 3. What are the 3 things that you can do to improve the speed of your cycle? How can you reduce the roadblocks? How can you reduce the time it takes to move around the control cycle? In summary, what we've learned in this module is that you need to maximize the speed of your control cycle to keep up with a rapidly changing world. By moving faster, you will have a more agile team. To do that, you can use our framework that allows you to measure the speed of your control cycle. Finally, keeping it practical and focused on the task in hand, it's your job to make sure that your team and organization have the fastest possible control cycle. That's your responsibility as the leader. So make sure that you're always working on ways to improve the speed of the control cycle to build an agile and high-performing team.